So, remember when I sulked at the end of my last video because Tama was getting the focus of the next chapter? Because next week is a goddamn Tama focus chapter. What the hell? Well, apparently I angered some higher powers with that statement, and I've been cursed. But the weird part is, they didn't tell me what the curse was. So, oh well. Business as usual, I guess. I'm Moonlight150, and this is my overmute. Oh, wait, sorry, Earl. Let me try that again. I'm Moonlight150, and this is my overmute. Wait, hold on. What's going on? So this is my punishment for dissing Tama, huh? Being reduced to cat puns. Fine. I can work with this. Let's just get it over with so I can enjoy Obon and Break Week. I'm Moonlight150, and this is my overview of the latest 100 Girlfriends manga chapter, Chapter 253, Tama's Territorial Dispute. Be sure to go support the Scanlation team Sunday for their hard work at providing us these chapters as they arrive, and go support the official release in your region during this crucial time as the anime is currently airing. Now, enough kitten around. Let's pounce right onto this new fur-raising, Purr-Plexing, and clawsome new chapter. I already feel like I've made a terrible mistake by continuing with this review. We start with a bit of backstory as we find Tama getting catastrophically harassed by an actual cat on the way to her job, with her admitting defeat and removing her cat ears so she can cross through another cat's territory as nothing more than a lowly, defenseless human, reduced from feline to civilian. The claws of territorial warfare knows no mercy. As she explains her predicament to Rentaro and the others, Rentaro immediately goes into protective boyfriend mode, vowing to help Tama and confront this formidable feline that has been torturing her. But before we get to that confrontation, can we talk about 100 Girlfriends and its catastrophically inconsistent character sizes? I mean, this is a 21-year-old grown woman clinging to a 16-year-old, and she barely covers his torso. Though, to be honest, this isn't the first time the size of the characters hasn't made perfect sense in this series. But now it's time for that Purr-Plexing confrontation as Rentaro and Tama pounce headfirst into enemy territory where they encounter... Where they encounter this beautiful, stunning, gorgeous woman. Wait, woman? I thought it would be an actual cat. You mean there's someone other than Tama meandering the streets of Japan dressed as a cat? What in the catnip is going on over there? But as Rentaro reminds this fine feline about the rules of the road and how the government actually owns it and not her, she begins to question who he even is, where Rentaro reveals to be Tama's boyfriend/owner, which immediately perks up the cat's interest in possibly wanting to be taken in like Tama has. Though seeing another frisky kitty move in on her boyfriend/owner, Tama finally decides to do something and goes on the paw offensive, smacking away at the cat making a move on her man. But she is quickly disposed of and tossed out like yesterday's kitty litter, which sends Rentaro into offensive mode as he is about a millisecond away from clocking a bitch in the face. Though Tama stops him before he tears the whole city apart defending his girlfriend, saying that this is her fight for her place as Rentaro's pet and cat girlfriend. This is now more than just your standard cat fight. But even after a perfectly rousing inspirational speech, that doesn't stop Tama from getting pommeled and laid back down on her ass immediately again. But in comes Rentaro for the rescue by giving Tama all the pampering and affection she needs to get right back into the fight, just to get knocked back down again. Thankfully, Rentaro will never tire of providing Tama with pampering, meaning we've now entered an infinite loop of cat gets smacked, cat gets cuddled, cat gets backed up, repeat. At this rate, we're gonna be stuck in a perpetual meowshin machine unless something finally intervenes. Thankfully, something did intervene, that being the rival cat girl calling it quits because she can't handle all the lovey and the dovey that is happening in front of her between Tama and Rentaro. Apparently, Tama didn't need to win this cat fight after all. She just needed to make her opponent so hysterically uncomfortable from watching her get pampered that she surrendered. Truly a clever battle strategy. As the cat girl meownologues about how upset she is that she doesn't have anyone like Rentaro in her life, Tama seizes the perfect opportunity for some underhanded tactics and pounces on the unsuspecting opponent. And with that, Tama finally establishes her place in the food chain and proves once and for all who is the top cat around here. Now being kicked while she's meowing, the other cat girl begins wallowing in depression as we learn about how she has taken up the way of the feline because she doesn't have a boyfriend herself to provide pampering and heal her in cat duels. Seeing a fellow feline suffer from struggles just like she does, Tama decides to hand out the paw of peace, offering to be friends. And much like Tama was driven to the lackadaisical life of a cat of not wanting to work, this one went the way of the cat of not wanting to worry about dating and getting meow-read. And the reason she went after Tama in the first place was because she was jealous that Tama was frolicking happily as a a cat being taken by Rentaro. Speaking of the cat's offer to be taken in by him, she retracts her offer because the thought of actually dating Rentaro makes her want to puke. Which now this holds the record for the furthest callback the series has ever made, as that goes all the way back to chapter 1 when rejection number 100 rejected Rentaro at the very beginning of the series and said the same thing. Showing once again that people are able to see that he is a good-looking man and good person, but because they aren't a soul meowt, the thought of being romantically involved with Rentaro makes them want to puke. After that group cat therapy session, they decide to forgive and forget and bury the cat hatchet. Or claw. Or what exactly do cats bury in this kind of situation? Let's not think about it, we're almost at the end of the chapter and I can be free of this catastrophic curse. Oh, just a few more meowments. Though I may be sad she won't be a regular in this series due to not being a soul meowt of Rentaro. But hey, let's look at the positive. That means I have a chance at this lovely lady with black hair and dark skin and cat ears that's gone a little cuckoo from trying to find someone to meowy. I'd be more than happy to make her happy and god damn it. Guess someone else pounced on that opportunity. You've got to be kidding me. Also, does this prove that the zing is audible enough for other people to hear that aren't the two people zinging? Well, either way, cheers to the happy couple, I guess. Guess I'll continue my search for my own woman with black hair and dark skin and cat ears that has gone a little cuckoo from trying to find someone to meowy. With the battle won, it's time for cleanup and pampering, and that's exactly what Rentaro and Tama do over at Tama's place. Small bathtub and all, where Tama then confides in Rentaro that even though life and work continue to be a formidable opponent, but because of her relationship with Rentaro, and presumably everyone else in the Rentaro family, life is worth living, even through the grueling reality of having to work. And we end things with Tama being the latest addition to the post-kiss collection. Is it over? Am I free? Whew. Thank goodness. Now I could do the afterthoughts uninterrupted. So while I don't dislike this chapter, I think I'm gonna have to say I think it's one of the weaker solo girlfriend focus chapters in a while. At least the ones that end with the post-kiss shot. Reason being is that everything regarding Tama as a character is just reiterated here. I mean, credit where credit is due. When her relationship with Rentaro was threatened, she did step up and try. Granted, she failed a lot, but at least she tried. So by that alone, this chapter is better than like Sue's. Whereas the really good example of these chapters like Era's and Himika's and even Kasuri's to an extent made us see new sides of these characters. And even after the triumphant standing up for herself and resolving the issue herself and making friends with the rival cat, the afterwards of being cleaned up with Rentaro is just her reiterating the same thing from her introduction and following focus chapter. That being in a relationship with Rentaro and having the Rentaro family made her feel like it's worth going through the daily struggle of living. This is all well-known information regarding the Tama character. We know Tama's lazy and lethargic, but will stand up for something when push comes to shove. So, while a fun time, and I appreciate Nozawa giving us what could have been my future wife if that homewrecker didn't steal her from me. When all was said and done, this was kind of a nothing chapter, particularly for doing something for Tama as a character, unfortunately. So when it comes to the Tama character herself, I think I actually prefer her original focus chapter of chapter 147. Okay, that should be good enough. I just hope the Tama fans and cat gods are at least a little satiated, so they'll leave me alone. And now we are technically on a 2-week break, though probably more like a week now by the time this video is out. I kind of took advantage of the downtime and took my time writing this, but it's not like I've been slacking off as I've been putting out multiple videos regarding the anime, so go check those out if you haven't. They're a fun time. Anyway, I've been Moonlight150, and be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to see all the content I've been putting out with more to come as the anime continues, and I'll see you all for the next chapter review. Wait, why didn't the video end? It's still going. Hi, audience? Wait. Aren't you satisfied, cat gods? I did what you wanted and gave an honest, unbiased review of the latest chapter with Tama. But I've already covered the whole chapter. What else is there to do? Fine. I'll look for something. No. Not yet. Oh, a family daily life? When did that get in there? Oh, never mind. This ought to fill the runtime. I'm Moonlight150, and for a bonus treat, let's take a look at the latest Rentero's Family's Daily Life number 7. Tsundere, Little Bro, and so on. Which, as amusing as these Family Daily Life installments are, with a recent tweet by Nozawa, it seems these may be slowing down as she is possibly getting back into the full swing of things, so the release schedule might be going back to normal. So who knows when we'll get another one of these. So for now, until further notice, let's consider this the season finale of the Family Daily Life segments. And thanks to Sunday for bringing us these during the downtimes of the mainline series. Now let's see what this chapter has. We're catching up with Karane's little brother Karuto, as the chapter appears to be a follow-up to chapter 230 of the mainline series, where Karuto powered up with the power of male tsundere and whooped evil Charlie Brown's ass on the playground to defend his girl, as we see both Karuto and Honoka hanging out together in class. Though it's interrupted by nosy classmates who, for no reason other than being nosy brats, forcing both Karuto and Honoka to admit that they have a crush on one another. But due to his family lineage, Karuto goes all tsundere, and instead of deflecting his feelings like his older sister Karane does, Karuto instead says the opposite of what he means and says that he hates Honoka, which of course leads to Honoka crying and the fellow classmates to gang up on Karuto for making Honoka cry, which is totally deserved, but at the same time, these damn kids initiate this whole scene in the first place. Now Karuto is down in the dumps for multiple reasons, for mostly making Honoka cry and telling her that he hates her, but it's big sis Karane to the rescue as she thinks teasing him will snap him back to normal. Though she hit the nail on the head with her teasing on making Honoka hate him, and just to make him feel worse. Karane is saved by the bell, literally, as she goes to answer the door where Honoka has come over to apologize to Karuto. Namely, she wants to apologize for being a crybaby and getting the rest of the class to bully him because of her crying. But Karuto has some apologizing to do as well, saying that he doesn't actually hate her, but really hates her. But in reverse. Thankfully, Honoka is able to understand his tsundere-ness and realizes it's all been one big misunderstanding, to which she begins crying again, but this time happily to have Karuto again. To which she begins crying again, though these are tears of joy rather than sadness like earlier, and being a grade schooler, she doesn't understand why she is crying about being happy, to where Karuto comforts Honoka that he's all too familiar with differing between what he says and does. With Karane and Grandma Karayo gleefully looking on at a distance, laying on the floor mind you, which makes this shot even that more hilarious. This might be a new favorite panel of mine. Following that apology back in the class with Karuto and Honoka, wait, where's the next page? That's it? Only 10 pages? This isn't even a full chapter? Okay, guess I'll wrap up things here then. I appreciate that we got this follow-up to Karuto's and Honoka's relationship that we had in that previous mainline chapter. I think I even said in my chapter 230 review that I'd like to see a spin-off of these two, and this was long before we got this actual spin-off series. Also, when do we get the Karuto and Honoka spin-off series? That looks adorable. We need a series with a male tsundere. So I guess I technically, unknowingly foreshadowed this chapter, in a way, maybe? These two are adorable, and I like the aspect of a male tsundere, as we don't really get those in media. The only one I could think of is like Miyuki Shirogane from Kaguya-sama Love is War, and even that might be up to interpretation or not. But the main thing I got from this chapter is that Nakamura has expertly crafted a pair of tsundere siblings that aren't carbon copies of one another. Nakamura, and also Sunday, differentiated the way that Karane and Karuto speak when they are sooning out, as we know with Karane and her catchphrase. With that, she speaks with plausible deniability, but also plausible possibility, when she is talking about something that makes her happy or flustered. Whereas with Karuto, he outright says the opposite of what he means and ends with a double negative of a sentence. So, same defense mechanism, different executions. Karane attempts to conceal what she feels, while Karuto openly encodes it and then immediately provides the decoder about what he's saying. It's something that I, as a fellow writer, really appreciate in reading when it comes to things like character building. That even though they are siblings, they can still be different when they have the same genetically infused mental and verbal tick. As the old saying goes, there is more than one way to skin a cat. Unlike what happened in that Tama chapter, which was just a lot more of the same. Ah, shit, I said something negative about Tama. Okay, fine. I couldn't make it through the whole video without talking bad about Tama. What's my punishment?